Enzo Fernandez drives inside, looks for Alexander Isak, finesse shot, great save. He heads it down nicely, shifts it onto his right, goes for the finesse straight at the keeper. Bega's unmarked in the middle of the park, as is Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side, over the bar. Welcome back everyone to a brand new episode of my FIFA 23 career mode with Newcastle United Football Club, and for those who saw my episode yesterday, you will know that we managed to top our Europa League group, absolutely smashed it out the park, and we will be sailing through to the next round. Unfortunately though, the same cannot be said for our Premier League status. We currently sit 5th in the Premier League. We are only a point off of Champions League though, but I was hoping to be a little bit higher come this point in the season. We also started the last episode by setting up a scouting network for youth players looking for physically strong players in England, and that is actually where we're going to kick this episode off as well. Now, we haven't actually managed to uncover too many players. We've actually only got 5 that our scout Samuel Reed's been able to find, but of those 5, they're actually pretty decent. We've got one here in Dexter Kelly, who's got a potential overall rating of 91. And then if I go through the others, the other highest is a guy called Ethan Kirk. He can play central midfield or attacking midfield, and even on the wing, with a high of 92. He's 6 foot, left-footed, at the age of 15. Unbelievable. But looking at the stats, you can see we've still got some way to go before we can fully scout all of these players. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go ahead and sign any yet. I'm going to continue scouting them, and hopefully, as the episode progresses, we'll be able to uncover the rest of their stats. However, we do still have 2 scouting network slots available. So first things first, I'm going to set up scouting network number 2, actually, and I'm going to focus on South America this time. I focused on England the first time, but I'm going to focus on South America this time. I'm going to look at Brazil, set it up for 6 months, and again, I'm going to stick to physically strong. In terms of my actual past experience setting up scouting networks, I've always found that physically strong players tend to be better than any others. So physically strong is going to be the theme for pretty much all of the networks I set up. But we've got England, we've got Brazil, and I think the final one, I should say, the third and final scouting network I'm going to set up is going to be in France. France notorious at the moment for finding and for developing incredible players, the likes of Mbappe, Benzema, Griezmann. So I'm hoping the same thing is going to be the case here on FIFA 23. So we've got 3 scouting networks set up. We've got England, we've got Brazil, and now we've got France. So hopefully, over the course of the remainder of this episode and season, we'll start to uncover some hidden gems in those countries. As for the rest of the episode though, we have a jam-packed schedule to get through. As you can see, we've got an absolute shed load of games to get through in December, as well as an additional 3 games in January, as well as the January transfer window. I'll let you know later on in the episode what my plans are for the January transfer window, so keep tabs on that. But for now, let's get down to business with our very first game of the episode against Leeds. And what a way to kick this episode off. A huge 4-2 win away at Leeds United, courtesy of 2 goals from both St. Maximin and Brennan Johnson. Fantastic way to start the episode, and it's another 3 points in the bag. Now, I spoke at the back end of the last episode about this man, Alain Saint-Maximin, and his involvement and his progress across the course of this season, and so far the stats are there for all to see. Unbelievable stuff this season. 15 goal involvements in 16 games, 12 goals, 3 assists, and an average match rating of 7.7. That man has been on absolute fire this season, and long may it continue. Frustratingly though, we can't continue our good run of form. Jonathan David getting on the score sheet in the 9th minute, but we end up drawing the game 1-1 at home to Sheffield United, courtesy of an O'Connell goal in the 89th minute. Before we move on to the next game of this episode though, I have just had an email from my chief executive to remind me that 3 of my players are now due to expire their contracts within the next 6 months. They are Kieran Trippier, Joe Linton, and Miguel Almiron. Now, Kieran Trippier, he's an obvious one. Whilst he is 33 years of age, he is one of my highest rated players at 84, and he is club captain, and he is a crucial player in the team. So I've got no issues offering him a contract extension of 1 year, so I'll get that tied down before I move on to the other 2. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You see, Joe Linton's 27 years of age, rated 77. Now, he has appeared quite intermittently across the season, only 2 Premier League appearances with 5 in the Europa League, but he does do a decent job in my squad. The problem is if I sign him to a new contract, then I think by the mechanics of FIFA, I then won't be able to stick him on the transfer list if I want to sell him and upgrade him come the summer. So I'm 50-50 at the moment whether or not I'm going to re-sign him on a new contract. Now, Almiron is in the exact same situation, except he's actually 2 years older at 29. He is rated 2 higher at 79, but it's the same as Joe Linton. He's only made a few appearances so far this season, 5 in the Premier League, 5 in the Europa League, as he has been usurped on the right-hand side by both Brennan Johnson and Elise. So he's kind of at that point where I don't really want to offer him a new contract either, but at the same time, I don't want to lose him on a free. So I think I'm going to have to take a gamble here, and I'm going to have to stick him on the transfer list. I don't really want to do this, and I don't really want to sell either of them, but I don't think I've got much of a choice because I'm not going to then be able to sell them in the summer, and I would like to get some sort of money for them. So I'll stick them both on the transfer list. If I sell them in January, I sell them in January. I wasn't really looking to bring in a new centre-back, or a central midfielder, or a new winger in January, but my hand might be forced. Back to the football though, and it is a massive game against the third-placed Chelsea at Stamford Bridge up next. We literally sit 2 points behind them now, and this is arguably the biggest game of the season so far. However, if we can get this done today, and if we can pick up 3 points here at Stamford Bridge, whilst it's going to be an incredibly difficult task, it will put us in a fantastic position, as the Premier League has never been so close. So starting for us today, of course, it is 4-3-3. Nick Pope in goal, Trippier, Tomori, Sven Botman and Ryan Sessegnon at the back. The usual midfield three, Pobega, Guimaraes, Fernandes. And then up front, Brennan Johnson, Alexander Isak and Saint Maximin. I've kind of made a bit of a mistake. I actually forgot to put Jonathan David back in the starting 11. So that is my bad. And I'm hoping it's not going to come back to bite me. Tomori. Against his former club Chelsea here, he will be very, very keen to put in a decent performance today, and I've got to hope he will do so. But we give the ball away early doors, but fortunately Pobega manages to pick it back up and then gives it away once again to Nkunku. Zanillo now all the way out to Havertz on the left-hand side, but that man Tomori, just as I said, came across and covered really well, and then is able to put through a defence-splitting pass to give it to Enzo Fernandez. Fantastic opening from Tomori. Alexander Isak, though, picks it up. I'm going to try and go out to the left, and Mason Mount reads it well. Pobega now into Enzo Fernandez, sorry. It's Saint Maximin who picks it up. The man of the hour, the man who's been absolutely sensational so far this season. Keeps going, goes all the way out to Trippier on the right-hand side. He whips a decent ball in, to be fair, and we just couldn't get on the end of it. No one seemed to be in the box for some reason. Everyone was just stood watching and waiting behind the ball. And in the end, Chelsea get it clear. It's Tomori now into Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon gives it to Enzo Fernandez. He turns nicely, gives it to Alexander Isak. I'm going to try and find Trippier out wide again on the right-hand side. Going to take a little bit more time now with this cross. Whips it in nicely. And unfortunately for us, Mendy is just there before Pobega. Ryan Sessegnon now with the throw. Going to give this to Enzo Fernandez. Going to go back in field to Pobega. Turns away nicely from the defender. Strikes with his right. It's blocked. Can it fall to Alexander Isak? He just can't get there. And it's cleared away by Chelsea. Mason Mount with the short corner. Goes to Nkunku now. Nkunku's the man that Chelsea really want in the box. And in the end, it's a pretty tame cross. And we're able to easily escape with that. But Kieran Trippier under a little bit of pressure here. But just going to try and loft the ball right the way over. Can Ryan Sessegnon get there ahead of Reece James? Yes, he can. It's game on here. Ryan Sessegnon looking for the cutback of Alexander Isak. And in the end, it's deflected off of the defender, and Mendy's easily able to collect before half-time. As Chelsea win it back, it's Havertz now on the left-hand side. Kieran Trippier now puts a challenge in. It's back and forth between two teams trying to get control of this game. Enzo Fernandez drives inside, looks for Alexander Isak. Finesse shot, great save. Kieran Trippier now with the resulting corner, whips a nice ball in. Can Tomori get there? He can. It's over the bar. It's Zaniolo here who gets challenged by Tomori once again. That man has been absolutely sensational. He is desperate. He is a man with a point to prove as Ryan Sessegnon puts it in the box, plays it across. It's Enzo Fernandez who puts it in after a strong save from Mendy. He just parried it back out to Fernandez, and we lead here 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. And what an important goal that might end up being. It's Zaniolo now on the left-hand side. Going to try and twist and turn once again to get away from Kieran Trippier this time. It's Tonali in the middle, now Thiago Silva. He plays it to Kante. This is nice play from Chelsea. Still dangerous. There's only a 1-0 lead here for us. It's Havertz into Nkunku, straight at the goalkeeper. Pobega now under a bit of pressure here from the Chelsea midfield. Chelsea trying to step up here now to try and see if they can equalise here. Thiago Silva, nice challenge on Alexander Isak. Cucurella now lays it all the way out to the right-hand side to Reece James. He finds Nkunku. Nice ball into Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz now twisting and turning, trying to find an option. Sven Botman, though, fantastic defending. And he's right out, trying to put the pressure here on Koulibaly. And he does brilliantly. But instead, it's Kante who does even better into Nkunku. Nkunku to strike. And he puts it past the goalkeeper. Tomori with the sliding challenge tried to get there in time. He just couldn't. And Nkunku with a lovely, cool, calm and composed finish to just knock it past Nick Pope. It was really poor play from us. So unfortunate. And in the end, he made no mistake just outside the 6-yard area. It's 1-1. Cucurella for Chelsea. Has it on the left-hand side here. Trying to be closed down by Brennan Johnson, but Brennan Johnson couldn't get there in time. Tomori heads it down nicely to Kone. He lays it off to Enzo Fernandez. This is good stuff from us. Enzo Fernandez now looking for the run of Kone again. It was the wrong option, and Koulibaly easily intercepted. The referee blows the whistle. It finishes here 1-1. It's a disappointing result in the end. I thought we were actually the better team over the course of the 90 minutes, but really slack defending allowed Nkunku to strike from just outside the 6-yard area to equalise for Chelsea. And in the end, I prefer a draw to a loss. We keep on par and on level with Chelsea in the league, but it finishes 1-1. And we're going to follow that one up with a very, very tricky game against a team who actually sits 6th in the Premier League table, and they go by the name of West Ham. I actually think this is going to be just as important as the game against Chelsea. We couldn't climb above Chelsea. Now we've got to make sure that we don't fall below West Ham and get a pretty terrible result today. Only a few changes to the team that drew 0-0 with Chelsea. We stick with the 4-3-3. Liverpool, Tomori, Sven Botman and Matt Targett. Matt Targett and Liverpool both coming in. Pobega Guimaraes and Enzo Fernandez, of course, stay the same. Brennan Johnson, St. Maximan, and Jonathan David comes back in for Alexander Isak, as I remembered to put him back in the starting 11. 7 minutes in though, and it looks like West Ham have got the first opportunity of the game, and it looks like we are all over the shop defensively. It's Skamaka who's picked the ball up, and it's Tomori now who's trying to chase him down. The goalkeeper's come out, he goes to loft it over, and he absolutely blazes it. Enzo Fernandez though is going to pick this one up 20 minutes in, and I'm going to try and release the danger man, St. Maximan, on the left hand side. It's a fantastic ball to him. He heads it down nicely, shifts it onto his right, goes for the finesse straight at the keeper. Looks like it's going to be Bruno Guimaraes who's going to pick this one up once again. And I'm going to try and see if I've got any options out wide on the left-hand side. Don't know why, but St. Maximan's drifted infield. It's Jonathan David. Going to try and play this across. It ends up getting blocked by the defender. But we've got a second bite of the cherry here. Jonathan David keeps going. Nicely escapes the defender. Lays it into Pobega. He shifts it onto his right. Great save. It's going to be a West Ham corner here, and they don't have any options to go short, so it looks like they're going to try and throw this one right into the box. It's a great head, great save. 87 minutes in though, and it looks like it's our turn to be the ones to try and take a corner. It's going to be Brennan Johnson to take. Going to try and put it into the penalty area. Great head and another great save. And that is that. Once again, it's a 0-0 draw here. I wanted the 3 points to try and put some separation between the two teams, but I wasn't able to do it. I will take a draw over a loss all day long, but it's a frustrating one once again. It's 0-0 at full time. We follow that game up though with a 2-1 away win at Bournemouth. That man, Jonathan David, getting on the score sheet twice. He's on absolute fire, and he continues that form today. And as a new year dawns here on this Newcastle United career mode and the January transfer window opens, that man, Jeff Hendrick, is going to be the first man out the door of the club. He's gone to Norwich for a deal worth 1.35 mil, and he's also joined out the door by Matthew Longstaff. He's off to Burnley though in a deal worth 2.7 mil. And in terms of my plans for the transfer window, well, to be honest, with £25 million in the transfer budget, it all depends on whether or not I can get any sales for Joe Linton and for Almiron as well. If I can, then obviously I'll look to replace them, but if I don't, then it's going to look like I'm going to lose them for a free in the summer, and then I'm going to have to try and replace them then. For now though, it's back to the football, and it's off to the FA Cup, where we've got an away tie against Wolverhampton Wanderers, a Wolves team that actually knocked us out of the Carabao Cup in the start of Season 1, so we are desperately seeking retribution. This is a cup competition though that I definitely think we can win this year, so you can see from my starting 11, I have gone very strong. Only one change to the normal starting 11, that is Matt Targett coming in at left back in place of Ryan Sessegnon, but apart from that, It's full steam ahead. Let's get through to the next round. 14 minutes in and it looks like we've got our first opportunity of the game, and it's the danger man, St. Maximin. It looks like he's going to pick this one up, and it's going to be, a one-on-one opportunity. Threads the ball through to Brennan Johnson. He's got a score here, and he smashes it into the top left-hand corner. It's a fantastic finish, and that is just what the doctor ordered. Going to be St. Maximin now with a free kick in a really dangerous position. It's nicely floated in. It's headed away, though, and Wolves get it clear. And that is game over. What on earth has happened? I said I was going to play the highlights, but for some reason, it's just fast-forwarded to 90 minutes. The players celebrate. As you can see from the scoreline, we ended up winning 3-0, so it was a really positive game. But I don't know what happened there. FIFA's got a history of doing this to me. It will just fast forward through some of the highlights, even though I've decided to play them. Brennan Johnson scores 2 goals, apparently. But in the end, we get through to the next round. I can't complain. And this is exactly what I was afraid of. That man Almiron is departing the club. He's off to Villarreal, and he's off to them for absolutely nothing. They approached him on a free transfer, and they were easily able to secure his services without having to pay us a fee. It's a little bit weird that they show the video of him actually departing the club. Well, he's not actually going to depart for another 6 months. But either way, he does leave, and he will be leaving, in the summer. And it means that we get absolutely nothing for him. And frustratingly, the exact same thing happens with Joe Linton. He's off to Real Betis, though, this time for absolutely nothing. Now, that puts me in a bit of a tricky position because, as you can see, they both still play for the club, and they will play for the club for the remaining 6 months of their contract, which means I'm going to be paying their wages for the next 6 months, and it means I've not been able to add anything to my current transfer budget. So I've only got 25 mil, which is not going to be enough to adequately replace both of them. So I'm just going to have to hold fire. Frustrating as it is, I'm just going to have to keep them both at the club, get rid of them when they leave in the summer, and then hopefully pray that the board gives me enough money to adequately replace them then. In the meantime, though, it will be a central midfielder and a right winger that I will be looking to bring in the summer transfer window. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What players would you like to see join this Newcastle revolution? Once again, though, it's back to the football, and it's back to a St. James's Park, a snow-filled St. James's Park, for another game against Chelsea. A Chelsea this time that are now second in the Premier League table, but only a couple of points ahead of us. So once again, this arguably is even bigger than the first time we played them earlier on in the episode. And as for our starting 11, of course, it is the usual starting 11. Trippier, Tomori, Sven Botman, Ryan Sessegnon at the back, Pobega, Guimaraes, Enzo Fernandez in midfield, Brennan Johnson, Jonathan David and St. Maximin up front. Reece James goes up the field to Mason Mount. Nice turn away to give it back to Reece James. Into Malinovsky now. Mason Mount. Nice turn to get away from Sven Botman. Into the path of Nkunku, who absolutely lashes it past Nick Pope. Gave the keeper no chance. And it's a brilliant start for Chelsea. 10 minutes in, they celebrate in front of our fans. 1-0. Oh, Sven Botman taken out there by Malinovsky, but the referee thought it was an okay foul and just allows Chelsea to play on. And now it's Nkunku, the goal scorer, picks it up, goes out wide to the left-hand side to Kai Havertz. This is a Chelsea team that almost seem infinitely better than the last time I played them. They're absolutely on fire, but then they just give the ball straight into Nick Pope. Bruno Guimaraes now goes infield to Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez passes to Pobega. It's a nice pass. Can he try and lay it off into the path of Jonathan David? Yes, he can. He's got time and space, finds a ball across, and in the end, it's a good save from the goalkeeper. I thought Brennan Johnson was going to be able to get there, but he wasn't. But Pobega now picks it back up once again. It's Bruno Guimaraes now here. Going to try and lay this out to Ryan Sessegnon. We give it away cheaply. Malinovsky for Chelsea now on the right-hand side, sorry. He's got the pace to drive past Tomori. Tomori looking so slow in comparison. And it's nice twisting and turning, and it's a good save from Nick Pope. Kai Havertz is going to take this corner, and he's going to take it short into the path of the goal scorer Nkunku. Lofts it into the box, and it's nicely headed away, but Bruno Guimaraes is tussling with Koulibaly. Chelsea pick it up again, and Nick Pope easily collects that one again. St. Maximin now into Enzo Fernandez. I'm going to try and float this one right the way across into the path of Brennan Johnson. It's a sensational pass. It's a nice ball into the box, and St. Maximin just can't get there in time. That man Pobega can, though. Going to go for the power shot straight against the defender. Tomori goes long into the path of Enzo Fernandez. He goes infield to St. Maximin. Oh, my word. Taken out there by Thiago Silva, and it's only enough for a yellow card according to the referee. Kieran Trippier now to take this free kick. It's quite a distance out, but I'm just going to go for it anyway. Kieran Trippier with the strike, smashes it straight against the wall and makes a bit of a hash of that volley, and we end up losing possession. It's Tomori here, under pressure from the Chelsea striker. Gives it to Bruno Guimaraes. He finds Enzo Fernandez, who looks like he's picked up an injury, into the path of Jonathan David. Jonathan David finds Pobega. Pobega tries to go for Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side. Tried to get a ball across, there wasn't enough on it. Kante down the left-hand side into the path of Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz into Nkunku. Unchallenged here, passes the ball to Malinovsky up front. Nice challenge though in the end from Sven Botman. And now we can try and release a counter-attack here. It's a good ball over. Brennan Johnson's got the pace to try and get past Cucurella. And that is a very frustrating mechanism from Cucurella there. What is he doing? What on earth was the Chelsea man doing? Brennan Johnson not quick enough to react. And in the end, it's rebounded off of Brennan Johnson. Cucurella all over the shop. And fortunately for Chelsea, they just about managed to clear that one. Malinovsky now goes out wide to Mason Mount on the right-hand side. He checks back inside, and he's going to look for Tonali. Into Nkunku, strikes. It rebounds back to him, though, and he gets a second bite of the cherry, and it's a good save from the goalkeeper. The substitute Kone goes to Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon going to try and go down the line to St. Maximin. It's a good ball. St. Maximin drives into the box. Can he get a decent ball in? Straight at the goalkeeper. And Nkunku goes out wide to Mason Mount. This is really, really nice from Chelsea. Into stoppage time. It looks like Chelsea are going to have the last attack of the game. Sven Botman with a brilliant challenge. Can we now? No, we cannot. I was going to say, can we launch a counter-attack? But it is too little, too late. The referee blows the whistle, and we lose here at home to Chelsea 1-0. It's a really disappointing result. It's a result that we needed to go our way, but unfortunately for us, it does not. It's 1-0 to Chelsea, and it's 3 big points dropped. But we managed to bounce back superbly. A 3-1 win at home to Everton. Matt Targett getting on the score sheet twice with Sven Botman sandwiched in between. It's a defensive masterclass in front of goal, and it's a big 3 points. With only a couple more games left in this episode, we turn our attention back to the FA Cup, and as you can see, it is a round of 32 game away against Ipswich. It is a game we really should be winning, and it's a game we do win just about though. Goals from Pobega and Jonathan David give us the win and send us through to the next round. Piggott getting on the score sheet in the 86th minute to make it very, very difficult for us, but fortunately, we just about managed to get the job done. But we're going to finish this episode off with one game remaining, and what a game it is going to be. It's going to be at Anfield against a third-placed Liverpool. And it's a Liverpool team, as you can see from the table, that only sit 2 points above us. And with us now dropping down to 6th place in the Premier League table outside of the European spots, it makes this game even more important. So starting for us is, of course, our 4-3-3. Trippier, Tomori, Botman and Ryan Sessegnon at the back. The usual midfield three. Brennan Johnson, Jonathan David and St. Maximin up front. It is a full-strength team for a game that we absolutely must get a result from. However, 9 minutes in, and it is Liverpool who have got the first attack of the game, and it is Jordan Henderson who's going to pick this one in midfield. Lays a lovely ball through to Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez lays a ball through to Diaz. My defence completely split open, and Nick Pope to the rescue. But fast forward to 24 minutes in, and we have the first opportunity of the game, and what an opportunity it is. It's a penalty that Brennan Johnson is going to take. I'm going to go down the middle, and it's straight down the middle, and it's 1-0 here. What a fantastic penalty. Sent the keeper the wrong way, and we take the lead here at Anfield. Crossing opportunity for Liverpool though, 51 minutes in. Oh, lovely back flick from Fabinho into Diaz. Tomori's there. Bruno Guimaraes picks this one up. Going to try and lay a ball infield to Enzo Fernandez. Going to go out wide to Ryan Sessegnon. Picks it up nicely. Pobega's unmarked in the middle of the park, as is Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side. Over the bar. What is going on? 86 minutes in, and we have another penalty here, and it's Brennan Johnson to step up and take. This time I'm going to go to the left, and it's straight into the corner. Brennan Johnson makes it 2-0 here, and surely that gives us 3 points. The referee blows his whistle. It's game over here. A fantastic way to finish off this episode. 2 penalties from that man, Brennan Johnson. 2 fantastic penalties that sent the keeper the wrong way. The Liverpool players inquire as to what on earth happened, but I don't care. We send the fans home happy. It's 2-0 at Anfield. And so we end the episode and we end the January transfer window in a Champions League spot. 4th in the Premier League table, only 1 point behind Manchester City in 3rd, but only 1 point ahead of a Spurs, Liverpool and West Ham clan that are desperately trying to challenge us for that final Champions League spot. United starting to claw out a small lead at the top of the table, but for us, it has been a fantastic episode. It is the draws that are killing us. 10 draws so far in 24 games, but if we can put that right throughout the second half of the season, we will be doing fantastically. That is it for the end of this episode though. If you have enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.